When I opened that envelope, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. It was a wedding invitation. From the man I loved for 6 years. The same man who once looked into my eyes and said I wasn't the marrying type. And the bride? My best friend. That day, something inside me shattered. But I didn't cry for long, because heartbreak taught me something powerful. Sometimes karma doesn't need an invitation. It creates its own. I met Daniel when I was 21, halfway through college and halfway through finding myself. He was charming in that quiet, awkward way. He didn't talk much, but when he smiled, the whole world seemed to pause. We met in the library. I helped him with a marketing project. He bought me coffee the next day to say thank you. And somehow, 1 cup became 2, then 3, until he became the rhythm of my every day. He dreamed of starting his own business. I believed in him so much that I started saving half my salary from my part-time job to help him someday. We built dreams together. Late-night talks, cheap dinners, promises whispered under streetlights. Everyone called us the forever couple, and I believed it. Until forever came with an expiration date. After graduation, Daniel's startup idea finally came alive. I helped him write proposals, manage clients, even handle his accounting. He said he couldn't have done it without me. But slowly, his words started changing. The we became I. I did this. I worked so hard. I told myself it was pride, not arrogance. Love makes excuses when it shouldn't. Then came the late nights at the office. At first, he said he was networking. Then, he stopped answering calls. One night, I dropped by his office with dinner, his favorite noodles. Through the glass door, I saw him laughing with someone, a woman, Maya, my best friend. I didn't think much of it. Maya was helping him with a marketing campaign. They looked close, but I trusted both of them. Maybe I shouldn't have. Weeks later, Daniel came home quiet, distant. He barely looked at me. And then, without warning, he said, "I think we need space. I need to find myself." I laughed, confused. "Find yourself? Daniel, I've been right here, helping you build everything." But his eyes were already gone. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "You deserve someone better." He left that night. No fight, no explanation. Just silence, where love used to be. Days turned into weeks, and the pain became routine. I deleted our pictures, boxed up our memories, but my heart still carried his name. Until one morning, I scrolled through social media, and there it was. A photo of Daniel and Maya, her head on his shoulder, the caption, "Forever starts here." My hands went numb. I read it again and again, until the words blurred into tears. 2 months later, an envelope slid under my door. Cream-colored, gold-lined, smelling faintly of roses. My name written in calligraphy I recognized, Maya's handwriting. I opened it slowly. It was their wedding invitation. And tucked inside, a note. "No hard feelings, right? We'd love for you to be there." For a moment, the room spun. The man who said he didn't believe in marriage was marrying her. My first instinct was to tear it apart. But something stopped me, because right then, my tears turned into something sharper. Not anger, clarity. They didn't know what I knew, and that was my power. You see, when Daniel's company began, he'd asked me to help with finances. He wasn't great with numbers, so I handled client invoices, contracts, and tax reports. I still had access to all of it. Every late payment he forgot to declare, every personal expense he covered with company funds, even the email trails that proved it. And Maya? She had no idea. She thought she was marrying a successful, self-made man. She didn't know half his success was built on my unpaid work and a few dishonest shortcuts. For days, I thought about revenge. I imagined crashing their wedding, screaming the truth in front of everyone. But then I remembered who I was. I didn't need chaos. I needed justice. So I planned quietly. I gathered everything: documents, screenshots, receipts, and sealed them in an envelope. Then I wrote a letter. Not to him, to her. When the day arrived, I wore my calm like perfume. A soft blue dress, minimal makeup, a smile that hid storms. People stared when I walked in. Some whispered. Others just pitied me. Daniel froze for a second when he saw me. Maybe guilt has a way of tightening your throat. Maya ran up and hugged me. I'm so glad you came. Her perfume smelled like the one I once gave her for her birthday. It stung, but I smiled. I wouldn't miss it, I said softly. During dinner, the host handed me the microphone. Would you like to say a few words for the couple? I nodded. The hall fell silent as I stood up. My voice trembled at first. I've known Daniel for a long time. We've shared dreams, laughter, and lessons. And I've known Maya even longer. My sister by choice. I paused, looking at them. They smiled, thinking I was giving a blessing. Love, I continued, isn't just about finding the right person. It's about honesty. Because secrets have a way of walking down the aisle too. The air shifted. People glanced at one another. Daniel's smile faded. Some vows, I said softly, sound beautiful, until the truth speaks louder. I lifted my glass, smiled, and said, to love, to truth, and to karma. She never forgets an address. Then I walked to Maya's table, placed a sealed envelope beside her bouquet, and left. By the time I got home, my phone was full of messages, missed calls, from her, from him. I didn't answer. But the next morning, I opened social media. Their wedding pictures were gone. Days later, mutual friends started whispering. Maya had called off the honeymoon. She'd confronted him the same night after reading what was in the envelope. The documents, the lies, the proof of everything he'd hidden. Within weeks, she filed for annulment. Daniel's investors pulled out after the financial scandal surfaced. The company crumbled. And the man who once said he needed to find himself finally did. Alone. Months later, I sat at a cafe by the sea. The same cafe where Daniel and I once planned our future. The air smelled of salt and peace. For the first time, I felt free. Not because he was punished, but because I no longer carried the weight of what he did. I wrote a few words in my journal that day. Revenge isn't about hurting back. It's about healing forward. Maya never spoke to me again. But I didn't hate her. She too was a victim of his lies. And maybe someday she'll understand that my silence at the wedding wasn't cruelty. It was mercy. As for Daniel, I heard he moved away, trying to start over. I hope he finds peace too, because the truth already gave me mine. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, remember, the truth doesn't chase people. It waits. And karma? She always delivers, sometimes in an envelope with gold edges. Thank you for listening to Tales by Soul. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to believe that justice still exists in silence.